people, Cheryl Hutchings here. Suit up, show up, rise up. I am outside St. Mary's getting ready to go in and pick up my barium for a CAT scan scheduled for tomorrow. It's not something I like to talk about a lot, and I don't think I've talked about it much in my vlogs, and so today I decided I needed to talk about cancer. Yesterday was treatment day. My beautiful longtime friend Coral, otherwise known as Curl, I'm Cheryl, she went with me, and it was like hanging out. I really have come to appreciate people who will take time, not come to appreciate, I've always appreciated people who take time out of their day to come and sit with me during an infusion, which is anywhere, I'm there for 2.5 to 4.5 hours. You kind of never know how long it's going to be. So she sat with me yesterday, and it was fun, and we laughed, and we talked about stuff that was probably pretty juicy. For people in the suite next to us listening to, I said they either are like, would those girls stop talking, or dang, can I sit a little closer and join their conversation? So yes, yesterday was infusion day, and I'm pretty certain I have a chemo intolerance. I sometimes wonder if that's why I'm able to move through chemotherapy treatment with very minimal side effects, and the flip side of that is that perhaps chemo doesn't work in my body, which maybe is why I have the second diagnosis so shortly after the first treatment. I don't know. That's the thing that drives me crazy about this health situation, is there can't ever really be real answers. There's only speculation and in studies and, you know, all of those things, but there's never really any true information about my body, and that drives me crazy. So I saw the PA yesterday, and there's progression. And so now the scan was supposed to be February 4th, and they got right on the phone, and the scan is now tomorrow. Which any of you who are watching this and have dealt with the cancer journey, whether for yourself or someone that you know and love, scans create some anxiety, and it's called scanxiety. And so ironically today I feel very at peace. I had my therapy session this morning after yoga, and my therapist said, how you doing? And I said, you know, today I'm feeling fantastic. It's that roller coaster, that ebb and flow, and I had fantastic energy this morning. I cranked up the music. Tasha Bedingfield got my day going. And I just noticed that I was vibrating at a really high frequency, and it felt really good. And I'm like, girlfriend, it's a dismal, dreary, gloomy day, and you got all this energy. And yesterday was a treatment day, and I realized in talking to my therapist this morning that perhaps it's because now immunotherapy is seriously entering into the treatment conversation, and it's something that I've wanted to be a part of my plan from the beginning. And even going all the way back to Greg's diagnosis, they talked about immunotherapy, and I have a friend whose mom died of cancer, and her mom believed that immunotherapy is a game changer. And so I wonder if that piece that's on the inside of my being, and I slept really good last night. I'm not taking melatonin right now because the saliva test I need to do for the block center, you have to have no melatonin in your system from supplements for at least 3 weeks. So tomorrow will be 2 weeks. So I haven't taken melatonin for 2 weeks, and I've been sleeping fantastically. And I'm so grateful when I wake up and I go, I didn't wake up last night. That means I slept all the way through. That means I got good REM. That means I'm rested. And then I wake up with good energy. And so, what was my point? I lost my point. I got off track. Get back on the track. Here comes a train. I have peace in my being because immunotherapy is entering into the treatment plan. And for those of you that don't know, chemotherapy kills fast-growing cells. So that means like sometimes hair cells, cells in your mouth are fast-growing, blood cells, skin cells. And so with cancer, what happens is there's a disruption in the DNA, and the cells do not know how to die, have their pre-programmed death. They just keep proliferating and growing. And so they kind of pile up on top of each other, and they create tumors. And so those tumors, wherever they manifest in the body, can create problems with the body's systems. So where I'm at right now is the Mets, which sounds like a big fancy thing, and it's not. The Mets are on the outside of my boob, and in the same spot where the primary tumor was back in 2017 when it was first discovered. So I had that removed along with a lot of lymph nodes, and then the cancer came back, recurred in the same spot, but now on top of my skin. So it's not skin cancer, it's breast cancer, but it's on top of my skin. And so there's some progression. And so I am feeling very at peace that immunotherapy is going to be more helpful to my body because it works with the immune system instead of knocking down my internal terrain, compromising my immune system. I often get low blood counts. ANC, absolute neutrophil count, is what it's called, and that is to help fight off infection. So sometimes I'm at high risk for infection, which, knock on all kinds of wood, I've never had an issue with that. So immunotherapy works with the immune system. It takes the brakes off and just lets the immune system go to town with cleaning up cancer cells. And so with my PTEN gene mutation, there's a molecular mutation, and my cells don't communicate that apoptosis process to each other for whatever reason in my life. That showed up now. And so the immunotherapy, the goal would be to get the immune system back in order and to be able to take care of these rogue cells. So here I am in the parking lot of St. Mary's to go in and pick up my barium, which has to be drunk, 4 hours prior, no food, just the barium, and then I drink one more. I call it happy hour. There's one more when I get here tomorrow morning that I will have to drink, and then we'll find out those results. I'll meet with my oncologist, determine a plan, and then I'm also communicating this to Dr. Black in Chicago and may still work with him. I don't know what my exact plan will be yet. But today I have a profound sense of peace in my being that hasn't been here for a while. And I told my therapist this morning that when I was getting ready and I had my music on and my vibration was up, I'm like, hey girlfriend, there you are. And it felt good. See, I'm tearing up. It felt good to be back, to have that me without the fear, me without the uncertainty. I just have a profound sense of peace, and I am loving it today. I didn't plan on getting emotional. We're gonna walk in there and get the barium, and then we're gonna walk over to 20 Monroe, and I am going to concert Friday night, and I'm gonna dance. And I talked to my therapist about that too, that I'm always looking for that next opportunity for happiness and to feel good. And I said, am I addicted to feeling good? You know, I'm not using drugs and alcohol and different things to feel good. I'm using experiences and people and places and music and dancing. So that's where I'm headed after this, is to go buy my ticket. And then I've got to do some more errands and then pick up kids from workout trainings and then make dinner. And so now I'm rambling, and I want to just leave you with every day we have an opportunity to show up. every day we have an opportunity, or many opportunities, to receive the gifts that are in our days. And let me tell you what. Cancer has taught me how to shed the abandon. Did I say that right? How to shed the shackles of not doing things in life because of fear. It has taught me how to show up and be so out loud. And, lots of you don't even know that, I've been on the dating scene, and one of the things I really crave in my life is a companion. Someone to, do life with. Someone who craves experiences like I do. And losing Greg has taught me once again how, those things can happen with a companion, but they can also happen solo. And so I show up, and sometimes it means doing things by myself. And then here comes a beautiful soul to say, hey, do you want to go to 20 Monroe Friday night? It'd be like a dance party. I'm like, heck yeah. I was at the grocery store and got the invitation, and I just feel myself light up. And so that's my challenge to you, is to wake up with gratitude every morning, even on the really hard days. Find the gifts. And I believe that when we walk through our days with that mentality, the goodness shows up. It finds its way to us. And so feeling like myself this morning and just vibrating at that level, it feels so good. And I know that that means that I'm getting back into alignment with my true self, and learning how to not be so hijacked by fear. The fear of not being enough, the fear of rejection, the fear of falling short, and in all honesty, the fear of dying. And so learning how to acknowledge that, but then not let it steal today. Like my one therapist had said, worry is a robber of today. So I work really hard to not let anybody steal anything from my day. So there is another raw and real vlog. And I'm looking at the Mary Free Bed Rehab Hospital right there, and knowing that my friend Sherry, who is fantastic, my friend from the Plant Powered Group, she is a nurse there and does some pretty amazing work with people rehabbing. I'm thinking of her looking at that sign right now. So I'm going to have gratitude. Usually I turn into a bit of a biatch when I go into some medical facilities, and I realized this morning it's because my fear brain takes over. And so I'm going to go in there and practice just being love and light and healing through those hallways in there, Spend a lot of time at medical places now, and I'm pissed off about it, but it is what it is. And so I'm going to practice right now using loving kindness, because that's going to make me feel better than turning into a biatch. And maybe I won't even throw an F-bomb around. Usually I throw an F-bomb around when I have to come into the hospital. So maybe I won't today. And I have babbled a bunch. This video is way longer. So suit up, show up, rise up. And I love you people. And find the gifts in the day and be the light. See you next time.